Hi everybody, welcome to Sprague Woodturning. My name is Jim. So this week we're going to have a little bit of fun. I actually did a resin pour using deep cast from Designer Epoxy and lilac purple as the pigment, and I made a casting. And what I'm going to do is mount this on the lathe. I'm not going to say what the wood is, and see if you guys can figure it out along the way. Anyway, that's what this week's video is. Hopefully you enjoy it. Should be kind of neat. I'll show you something once we get mounted on the lathe, how I addressed a certain issue that I had. And then I'll start trimming this away and tell me if you guys can figure it out. All right, so let's get to the lathe. Okay, so before we start, I want to actually point something out. I had to do this pour in 2 pours. Well, it was supposed to be 1, but this piece of wood sucked up a lot more resin than I thought it was going to. So what I did was I took the grinder and ground down the initial resin pour line, hoping that we're not going to end up with a witness line when we're done. Here's another area here. I don't know if you can see it or not. But anyway, it's not a straight line across. Where it's on the wood, it's probably not that big of a deal because that's going to get it all turned away to the surface of the wood. But any areas where there's going to be the resin, you're certainly probably going to notice it. So it'll be interesting to see if any of this is going to be in there when we get done, because I mean there's a resin pour line there, but it's all on the wood and it's going to be turned away. Anyway, I just wanted to point that out before we started. Well, good morning. Hopefully everybody's having a great week. So yeah, the mystery bowl, just having a little bit of fun. Again, just mount it between centers using a 5/8 bowl gouge by David Ellsworth to try and move the bulk of the material here. This casting sat around for a little while, so the resin in the wood is actually very hard in this. And you'll see throughout the video that I use pretty much every tool I've got in order to complete this project. Yeah, in total, I think that I sharpened my bowl gouge probably 6 times in turning the outside and the inside of this bowl, which is a lot. Usually I can get away with no more than 2 on a normal wood project, not a project that has wood and resin in it. This is the finisher from Easy Wood Tools, and as you can see, I've got it tilted up on a 45-degree angle, and it actually cuts very well this way. I'd actually like to see them make a carbide tool with this 45-degree angle on it. I think that it would be a really good addition to their line. I should also mention that I am not using the negative rake scraper with this one. Just cleaning up the bottom here where the glue block's going to go. Back with the gouge. I kind of switch back and forth the tools throughout the turning process on this bowl. It's a little hard to see here, but I've actually marked circles on the bottom of the bowl. And then I found the right size block that would fit it. And then, of course, this is hot melt glue. And then I just look at the marks. I had to move away some of the glue because it tends to magnify things. It's a little hard to judge where it is, but it seemed to work well. All right, so now we're outboard, and I get asked this question a ton, and it's just not the norm, I guess. I'm left-handed. It is not comfortable for me to work over the bed of the lathe, so the threads on my general air are left-hand threads. That allows me to move the bowl to the outboard end of the lathe, and I'm not standing. I'm not using my non-dominant hand, my right hand, which most right-handed people would use when they're inboard on their lathe. So I get asked this a lot, and I certainly understand why people would ask that because things look backwards. So if this is a normal bowl, I never do this. I never drill at the center. This stuff here is very, very hard, and you can see that dark spot in the bowl. Well, that's where the resin has penetrated the soft areas in that bowl. So it is really, really hard. So I think I started with like an inch and a 16th or an inch and an eighth, forced a bit to try and drill at the center, but it just couldn't do it. So once I switched to a 7/8, I was able to get it in deeper and then go back to the other drill bit. Any guesses yet? Anybody know what this is? Here I'm using the rougher, and it seemed to work the best. Just using the very corner of the tool seemed to be the most effective way to whittle this wood away. And this bowl blank was too small to core as well. I will get back to coring resin pieces here, hopefully shortly. It's just like concrete. Not any fun to turn. I think that's what happens when you let the epoxy sit too long and hardens up to the point that it's difficult to work with. It's got a working range. I think, if you put this on the lathe 3 days after you've cast it, it'd probably be a lot easier to turn. And I'll just touch on coring. I don't know if I could even core this piece. The cutters for the coring rig that I have are high-speed steel, and the last time I did it, it was quite a challenge. This here was just so hard that I don't even know if it would have actually cut it through there. They do make carbide cutters, but I just haven't really had great success with them. I actually bought 3 and I busted 2 of them. Finally, on to sanding. These are 3.5 inch dimple discs from sandpaper.ca. And of course, if you've been here for a long time, you know that I exclusively use these. They're a fantastic price and they work great. So if you haven't checked them out, you definitely should. Sandpaper.ca. I don't know if you noticed or not, but I noticed that the rim, this bowl had been a couple of days in the process of turning and had distorted a little bit. So I had to go back and clean it up with the rougher. I've never really covered this before, but when I'm sanding the inside of a bowl, typically the wear on the sandpaper will be around the edge of the sanding pad. So before, that will dull, and before you throw that away, go on the outside profile of your bowl and sand that, because you'll use the center part of your sandpaper, and that way it gets better use. Since this thing was full of resin, I figured there was no harm in buffing the entire bowl with the Triple E compound. So that's why I did it that way. A lot of times I just buff the resin areas and don't buff the wood, but this thing was just permeated with the resin. That's a pretty cool detail, the two colors. Of course, using denatured alcohol to clean the surface prior to any finish going on to remove any of the triple E buffing compound. I don't understand why some turners use this when they're not doing anything similar to this. To me, it seems to be a waste. All right, this is Mohawk Salad Bowl Finish. And I'll elaborate on that. If you're trying to remove a buffing compound from the surface, I understand why you would use denatured alcohol. But, you know, when you're just a straight wood project, denatured alcohol is so expensive, I just don't understand why some turners use it. Check out that pearl. Very nice. Unfortunately, I do see a witness line there. See that darker area in there? Regardless, you know, it's pretty darn nice. I've found that using 4-0 steel wool between coats seems to work better with the Mohawk Salad Bowl finish. Can't really explain it. I've tried using the triple E between coats, and for some reason the next coat doesn't lay down as well. Okay, this is the second coat. Also, having the finish warmed up seems to really help with it laying flat as well. So if you're not warming up this finish, you should do that before trying it. We'll see, it might need one more coat, I don't know. Anyway, if it needs another coat tomorrow, I will do it first thing in the morning and then cut it off at the end of the day and do the bottom. See you tomorrow. So this finish seems to respond well to the white diamond buffing compound. So I use that as the last thing before cutting it off. And what I did do with the third coat the next day in order to speed things up, I actually put the coat of finish on, put it in my clean room for about 3 hours, and then put it outside in the sun to cure the finish. That way we could move forward with this. And I do this on a regular basis with all of my wood turnings. Once that finish is set up where it's not going to get any dust in it, then it's fine to put out in the sun. Just be careful because your bowl might warp. All right, let's have a last little look at our bowl and see if you've got the right guess. Try and tilt this so that it's not so reflective. I will put some stills up at the end like I always do. But this is actually something that's been on the channel a lot, and it's maple burl. So I've only got one coat of finish on the very bottom. Got some stuff to sort out here. I'll put another coat all on the bottom of this and it would be nice and perfect. The two resin pours, you can see the dark one in there. I don't know, it doesn't really bother me that much. There is a witness line along here, but you know, again, it's not, if I didn't tell you it was there, I'm not so sure that you would even know. Yeah, it's so shiny, it's hard to take video of. This dark area right here, this is all dry rot. And that deep cast epoxy from Designer Epoxy just crept in there, and it is hard as rock. You know, if I had to turn this maybe a couple days ago, it wouldn't have fought me so hard. But regardless, I mean, another outstanding job by Designer Epoxy for sure. So like I said, one more coat on the bottom, and this is 3 coats of Mohawk Sellable finish if you're curious. All right, so that's that. T. Castell hasn't gotten a hold of me. He is the winner of the 15,000 subscriber giveaway bowl. So I'm still waiting to hear from him. If you're watching this, please send me an email to spraguewoodturning@gmail.com. And once I verify who you are, then I will ship this to you worldwide. Now, the 20,000 subscriber giveaway bowl, like I said, we were going to take the names from all the comments on each video, put them in a comment picker, and it was going to kick out a name. Those names went into a hat, and then we picked a name. Now, I'm probably going to butcher this, and it's kind of ironic because this person has actually bought a bowl from me. So, Lisongi Van Gomo, you are the winner. Lisongi Van Gomo, you are the winner of the 20,000 subscriber giveaway bowl, and I apologize if I'm butchering that, because I probably am. Anyway, they comment, or this individual comments on each and every video that I do. So of course, the more times you comment, the more likely you are to be picked, and it worked for her this time. So congratulations, get a hold of me, I'll get your shipping details, and I will ship this out to you. So that's awesome, thank you so much for that. I got another sticker in today, Lakeshore Woodturner, Michael Thomas. He's got Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. I will put his details in the description down below, so make sure you check him out, especially his YouTube channel. Let's give him some subscribers and get him monetized. So that's great. Thanks a lot for sending the sticker along. I actually already put a couple in the mail, so hopefully you'll get those soon. Don't forget about your discount codes in the description down below to Designer Epoxy, sandpaper.ca, and of course Starbond Adhesives. And I don't even know what we're going to do next week. I haven't got a clue. I haven't figured it out yet. But anyway, thanks for stopping by. Congratulations to the winner of the 20,000 subscriber giveaway bowl. Like I said, I plan on doing this every 5,000 subscribers. So of course, the faster I get subscribers, the more bowls I'll give away. So it's in your best interest to subscribe. So that'd be great if you do. All right, well that's it. Till next time, take care, stay safe, and we'll see you next week.